Welcome back to Memory Lane. My name is Craig Crash Collins, joined by Ben Bousman. We are on episode 4 of kind of going back into the archives and looking at games from key dates throughout the year. Unfortunately, this is not the greatest memory because a couple of days ago, was the anniversary of Andrew Luck's abrupt retirement. Of course, that was a day that, shocked you and I both, Ben. Twitter was blowing up, all that kind of thing.
But a few text messages were sent that day.
We had just had a fantasy football draft too.
Yeah.
And I had drafted Andrew Luck, so that was fun for me as well. It was a crazy day, and so we wanted to commemorate that. Or at least on the anniversary of that date, relive one of the more fun moments from Andrew Luck's career, and this is his second season. Peyton Manning comes back to Lucas Oil, so of course this is kind of the passing of the torch where Andrew Luck plays Peyton Manning, and it was a lot of fun. This was a fun game. I remember I didn't get to watch this completely live because I was actually at work, but I remember, popping the good old phone out every once in a while just to check the score. And I could not believe that, the Colts not only were able to hang with a team that would later play in the Super Bowl and had Peyton Manning, but the fact that, Andrew Luck rose to the occasion and you knew you had a superstar on your team.
And keep in mind that I think the Broncos were 6-0, and they were averaging like 44, 45 points a game. So I'm sure a lot of people expected, they got the second-year quarterback, whatever coming in here. They can't stop this high-powered offense. But obviously, you never know what can happen. But they did stop them. So,
yeah, it was a really fun game to watch, and we're going to pick it up with 9:33 to go in the second quarter. So let's go ahead and get into it. Broncos are up 14-10 and have the football back. So obviously, key possession for the Colts defense.
This year, Peyton Manning burned the Ravens on one.
Oh, that's good. Right away.
So, I'm more of an Adidas man, but...
Adidas? I'm more of a New Balance guy.
Oh, yeah.
No. There we go.
They start this drive. Moreno.
Have the Broncos pinned back. You got Mathis on this team, which is awesome.
It's just ridiculous to try to predict
I think that was just Noshawn Moreno, who they had Ronnie Hillman,
right,
who was sort of prone to fumbling at times. And then who else was it? Noshawn Moreno, Ronnie Hillman, Monty Ball, Wisconsin, right?
Right, from Wisconsin, one of the great Wisconsin backs.
2nd and 7.
Ooh, just out of the reach of Eric Decker. I mean, you look back at this 2013 Broncos team, and even some of these Bronco players with Peyton on the team. I mean, a lot of times when you get the Manning-Brady comparison, a lot of people say, well, Manning, didn't make anybody better. He had Harrison, who was great. Right. Wayne was great. But, I mean, some of these guys had their best seasons when Peyton was there. And,
right.
Noshawn Moreno, I remember he had a breakout season this year. Eric Decker had some of his best years.
Decker was on my fantasy team.
Yeah. Wes Welker was on this team and was really good. Ooh. Oh, wow.
And the ball will stay in the end zone. The Colts are there.
Nice. Wait.
You got Robert Mathis.
They're going to call it a safety.
Either that or they're trying to portray a wigwam.
Yeah. Either that or they're like, we're going to get to the prayer circle.
Yeah.
Everyone.
His teammate does it to Manning himself.
Doesn't work on one
I miss
side,
Mathis and Freeney.
Yeah, me too.
That was the empty hand.
And didn't Mathis just get inducted into, what do they call it,
The Ring of Honor.
Yeah, Ring of Honor.
Yeah, so wait, so I guess he got possession, by the time he got possession, he was out of bounds. I was going to say, it looked like he got, possession in the end zone, but it must have, been sitting on it out of bounds.
Manning's arm is not coming forward, so you definitely have a sack. You have a sack fumble. The question now is, as Walden tries to recover the ball, does he have possession before he goes out of bounds? The ball is a little bit loose there. It's so crazy, even if your hair is out of bounds, believe it or not. If your hair is out of bounds, you're out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't think he regained.
Why you don't have the
Yeah.
dreads?
Another reason not to have long hair.
Yeah.
And my belief is his shoulder is on the line at that point.
Yeah, very
no
close.
No control.
I mean,
no control.
you'd almost.
And now that shoulder.
Well, I mean, yes and no. At least, like,
They do.
if you, I mean, at least at worst, you're getting the ball anyway because of the safety. So, I mean,
Polamalu was involved in a play a few years ago where the hair came into play.
It's a funny rule because you can actually tackle by the hair and no penalty. There's all kinds of hair rules out there.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Safety.
so there you go.
Well, the crowd wanted
Prayer
5
circle.
more points, but they'll have to settle for 2, and they're going to get the ball.
Yeah, talk
The
about
score
people who had some of their best moments of their career and best stretches of their career. You could say the same probably for John Fox.
Has started.
Who, I mean, he had a couple Super Bowl runs, one with the Panthers and one with the Broncos.
It's going to be tough. No Sean Marino.
Yeah, I'm glad they decided to move Mathis's like Ring of Honor ceremony until next season because I think the Colts are still planning on having people in the stands this year, but obviously just not as much.
I thought I just heard that the Redskins were doing that.
Jason Taylor.
Something about
There's not a team called the Redskins anymore.
Oh, whatever.
Gee whiz.
The Washington football team
Yeah.
was
But it became official
planning on it, or they are doing
39
it,
of
not
them.
having fans in the stands.
Yeah.
Robert Mathis,
Well, I know the
another guy
Eagles
who,
aren't either.
you know, he might
Their,
have
like,
gone to the fire
citywide
sale,
mandate
too. He
was
thought,
that.
Well, maybe I'm gone. Dwight Freeney was sent away this year. Signed with San Diego, got hurt. And there it is, Dolman 38, Taylor and Mathis with 39.
Well, 10.5 sacks on the season now. He's been fantastic so far. And that after leading the Colts last year with just 8 sacks. So
Jason Taylor was fun to watch. I like watching him and Zach Thomas when they were on the. I mean, obviously it wasn't fun when the Dolphins were in the AFC East and so were the Colts, and it was,
The kick, which is in effect a punt,
you know,
free kick from the
not the
20.
greatest, but
And Brazil from the 18 brings it back to the 34.
I don't know if it was earlier in the game or not, but this is also the famous McAfee tackle where he tackles Trenton Holiday, and like the next day got like a a random drug test by the league. So, like, a punter made a tackle, so that's pretty suspicious. We gotta check in on that.
Beautiful. Around the stadium before the game.
That's
I
great.
think he's another person I missed. Can we just
That
bring
baby?
back McAfee, Freeney, and Mathis, just all
From
three
the
of them?
34-yard line.
Well, I mean, Mathis is a coach,
Brown is
so I mean, and I'm pretty sure I don't know if McAfee's show is
34 on first down
based in
off
Indy.
play action. And Luck finds the open man, and turns out to be Brown. And
Ooh.
Donald Brown with a flag.
Donald Brown was good. He just was on the Colts at the wrong time.
Right.
Coach Jeffers will
Like, he was there for the tail end of
flag is
Peyton,
at the Denver
and then he
46.
was there for basically. I mean, the Colts were good still, like this year.
Which is 28
You know,
yards.
famously they beat both teams that go to the Super Bowl. They beat the Broncos and the
Bootleg
Seahawks.
action coming one way and the back going
But I
back
think
the
this is
other.
the thing that
If
too
you have a
is
good
that,
patient
you know, I don't think, I
quarterback
mean,
like Luck is, able to come
think
all
about the
way
fact
back
that
across and come up with
how
a big
bad
play.
these
This
some of
is
these
turning
Colts
into
teams
a
actually
little
were,
bit
and
of a
like how well
shootout
Luck
that
did
maybe
with
the
them.
Colts hadn't
Oh, yeah.
envisioned, but you kind of get the feeling Andrew Luck's ready to go and wants to take his shot at Peyton Manning.
Rodgers
And,
from
you know,
Hardy
he
came out of the
took
game holding his arm.
A ton of hits.
Yeah,
That was the one knock that everybody would put on the Colts is their O-line.
Chris
Yeah.
Couldn't protect Luck.
Probably the biggest improvement on this Broncos team over the last couple of years, just their
And now look,
ability
you know,
to
their
stop the run.
O-line's pretty
And
good.
when you
Oh, yeah.
can stop
So,
a team's run, it just
especially
puts them in a
with,
situation,
with Nelson,
especially now
yeah,
with
Colton
Von
Nelson.
Miller back in action, where you can start to come after the quarterback. Now 2nd down and 10, all the advantage moves to the defensive side of the ball. You can stunt, you can do anything you want here.
Luck in the pocket, protected well, and the pass is incomplete over the middle. Intended for Reggie Wayne. Well, you saw the roof open, and we thought it might be a little bit of gamesmanship because, well, we'd heard that Peyton preferred the roof to be closed, but his numbers would belie that. He's been great under any circumstance, but it's an interesting call they made tonight because right now it's 53 degrees. That what they call the window is open facing the north, and it's chilly in here.
Hey,
I think they were going to do
I'd be like,
anything
sorry,
they
Peyton,
could
keep
come
the
up with
roof
to
open.
try to
Yeah.
get a little edge in this one. They don't want him coming back in this building and walking out with a win.
3rd and 11.
I don't think anybody would have minded if Peyton won.
And Luck, who can run.
Ooh.
And Luck fighting his way close to a first down. Miller and Harris were there, but Andrew is 6'4" and about 240 and gets the first down.
And no slide here. Here's the big guy.
You think in retrospect, like, the fact that Luck was so mobile actually ends up kind of hurting him in the whole big swing of things? And because, not because Andrew Luck shouldn't run,
Right.
but because that's one more reason for Ryan Grigson to be like, no, that's fine. We don't need to get offensive linemen.
Well, that's what they say about a lot of the running. You know,
Right, but a lot of the times it's because that's their first instinct. Luck's first instinct isn't to run.
Oh, I know.
Ooh,
You think Peyton Manning's first instinct was run?
yeah.
I mean, he looks like Lurch running down.
Yeah.
He had the interception against Joe Flacco against Baltimore, and then he's running free to the end zone, and he gives up the ball at about the half-yard line, and it winds up rolling out of the end zone. It winds up with Woodyard getting hurt on the play. It was an embarrassing thing. He goes to the bench and he tells John Fox, I'm sure I was in, but he wasn't.
No, but he is a tremendous player. Great coverage linebacker.
2nd and 10. And this is Richardson.
Trent Richardson.
Tough running here.
Talk about players with good years. This was probably the best Trent Richardson was as a Colt, and that's saying something because he was not very good.
Mike McGlynn coming around on a little power action here. Around this way, and this is really what they've been waiting for Trent Richardson. He had a nice play last week on a little flare pass to the outside. Made some people miss. He's a big, strong guy, and he loves contact, but what they're telling him is love contact a little more. Use your quickness and less of your physical
Out of all the the former Alabama running backs, like, who would have thought that, like, Derrick Henry would be the one? I mean, Mark Ingram, I think it goes like Derrick Henry, then Mark Ingram. But there's a lot of them that ended up being bad.
Right.
Oh, there we go. Nice. Stanley Havili. And there you go.
Nope.
Staring down a possible, you're thinking if the Colts go down, or the Broncos go down and score, they're up 17-10, they're up a touchdown. I mean, that's a pretty big swing there to get the safety, and then...
Right, especially under these circumstances,
Yeah.
Different emotions on different,
Right.
Robert Ayers, absolutely no way he's going to stay with Havili, who's had a big game here so far tonight.
So Mathis sets it up with the safety. That's 2 points. Puts him in possession.
You were saying the same thing about, like, Alabama running backs?
Yeah.
What about Wisconsin running backs?
True. Yeah, that's pretty fair. I mean,
they're awesome in college. They break all these records.
Melvin Gordon, I think, would be the one that you would say, like, yeah, Melvin Gordon is the one that's made it. I mean, Monty Ball didn't really... Ron Dane. Hopefully that doesn't extend to Jonathan Taylor. But, yeah, I mean, that's also a fair point. I mean...
Some refer to this as the War of 1812. Peyton Manning.
I don't think anybody refers to it as that. I don't think that's the thing.
But Robert Mathis, who wasn't allowed to get...
I wonder if Philip Rivers, like, when Jacob Eason takes over, if he'll be like a Matt Hasselbeck and, like, spend a couple years as a backup.
Yeah, I totally forgot about Hasselbeck.
And you can just imagine.
Because for so long it was just Peyton.
Jim Sorgi or Curtis Painter.
Yeah.
This is the difference maker right here. All those years in the red jersey, nobody was ever allowed to touch.
Of course, Peyton behind him had Osweiler.
Yeah. That's like one of my favorite clips of all time. Do you remember that where the Broncos were up by like, I think like 20-some points or something against the Raiders, and Osweiler is like getting his helmet on, and Peyton like just runs down on the field, and you see Osweiler go like, "Come on, I wanted to play."
Yeah. Starting to match up, and this has been some man coverage, some bump and run, physical play. They've taken this Broncos offense out of rhythm a bit.
Swing pass, Moreno to the outside, but he can only get back to the original line of scrimmage, making it 3rd and 10. Vontae Davis making the stop.
Moreno, Georgia.
5:15
Yeah.
to go in the half. Manning doesn't want the defense to change.
I think he was at Georgia at the same time as Matthew Stafford. And maybe even A.J. Green. I kind of want to look that up.
I was going to say, you got there first, go.
Well, Peyton Manning is notorious for knowing, are you by the upfield shoulder or not of the defensive back? Vontae Davis, who's barely stayed on his feet right there.
Georgia.
Tried to go up over the top, but didn't get it up high enough.
Right, 9 or
and right now, the secondary of the Colts are doing something that nobody else in the league has been able to do, and that's
Matthew Stafford, Sean Moreno, A.J. Green. Think about how good that Georgia team was.
Well, they do that here. Oh, that's a different day, different college, but still, they had to.
Yeah, they didn't win the. They didn't. I mean, the college football playoff didn't exist, but they went. I think one of those years they went to the.
Well, you look at these Indianapolis Colts.
They went to the Sugar Bowl. I think that's when they beat Hawaii.
That's about as fast as it gets.
Okay, so that specific season,
Bill Polian gets fired.
They
bring in a new coach, Pagano. They bring in
wow,
Ryan
that
Grigson,
season,
by the way, who's a pretty good general manager.
Like lost
they
to
get some
Alabama,
free agents,
Florida,
they
and Georgia
luck,
Tech.
and here we are.
And then they beat Michigan State in the Capital One Bowl.
Hey, there's your man.
Who was it?
Grigson.
Oh my God, yeah. Like, and that's the thing too. Like, after it was all said and done, like, I don't think anybody, or at least no like Colts fan who knows, like, who isn't just going by the heat of emotion, like really blames luck for any of the like that stuff. It's like, man, if Ryan Grigson put somebody, and there's the crazy thing is there's people that give him like credit because the Colts were good, and it's like, no, the Colts were good despite the roster he put on the field.
So Champ, who had missed all of the season until last week.
Come on, let me go to the year before.
At the 45. Take a look.
There we go. Yeah, the year before is when they went to the Sugar Bowl and played Hawaii, and I think they still had, I mean, they would have all obviously had all those guys still.
They came in with a left foot injury.
So, yeah.
That's what cost them the first 5 games.
But they were 11-2, so they never had, like, I don't think they were close to even making, I mean, that year I bet they were, but.
Before he got knocked backwards, and he is upset, and that is exactly.
Is that Champ Bailey?
What it appears.
He's still playing?
Left foot took a bit of a pressure step. If you can
oh, yeah, that is Champ Bailey. Huh.
And for Champ Bailey,
who's been around.
Was hurt
yeah, I was like, I didn't. For some reason, I thought he'd been retired for a lot longer, but I guess not.
Well, it messes up too that we're watching it in 2020. Like, we're thinking about it as being recent.
And appear to have done it again. Meanwhile, Rogers Cromartie, who was out, comes back in.
This was 7 years ago. That's crazy to think about.
At the 49 of Denver on 2nd and 2.
Back when it was normal.
Yeah. Back when
the football was okay.
Yeah.
And Luck going
deep. Wow. Oh, dude.
For the flag is Hayward Bay.
Wow.
And he will not
Curious Hayward Bay was on this team.
Rogers
I'm getting a lot of like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Rogers Cromartie probably did get a bit of a hand in there on this one.
I think he last played. Does he still play the Raiders?
Very fast.
He last played with them.
I think he last played with the Steelers. I think he started with the Raiders, then went to the Colts, then went to the Steelers.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He has had issues with drops over the course of his career.
And if one thing cost the Colts last week's game at San Diego, it was drops. From the 49-yard line on 3rd and 2 in the play.
San Diego doesn't have a team. Yikes.
Harris Leonard, the middle linebacker. So it's 4th down and 2.
You know who? For the Broncos, Demarius Thomas. Yeah, he was like a constant fantasy, football player, and then I think he sort of fizzled out.
Well, I know he tore his Achilles. He kind of fizzled out, then got traded to Houston, and then tore his Achilles, and I don't even know where he is now.
McAfee.
Is this the tackle?
Nose down.
No. That was after. I think that was earlier. That was after a touchdown. Oh, nice.
Great coverage there. Sergio Brown is there to down it at the 2-yard line.
Professional wrestler McAfee right there.
Yeah.
Linebacker McAfee.
With 4:04 remaining in the half. All right, the quarterback comparison. Nobody really lighting it up, though. Luck has thrown for 149 yards, which is pretty good going into the half. 10 of 19. Manning with 2 touchdown passes.
You ask yourself that, like, the exact, you had the O-line that we had, you know, last year, and Luck was still there.
Yeah. Like, if you had the O-line we have had, like, the last couple of years, like, this year, like, in 2013.
Right. I'm saying, like, what, or if he was still playing.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Oh, yeah, if he was still playing, and they, like, especially now that they've got, like, I mean, granted, they wouldn't have been in a position maybe to get Jonathan Taylor. Maybe they would have because they wouldn't have traded, but, like, you don't know how those different things would play out, but, like, I trust.
I mean,
like,
what
Ballard's able to do
is not bad.
Right. I was like, I'm trusting Ballard if Luck's still there to do, you know, to find whatever other diamonds in the rough he can find. And like, this Colts team was getting set up to be a contender year in and year out, and I think they still are. Like this year, I'm excited, not necessarily about who's playing quarterback, but I'm excited about the team as a whole. And I've come around more to Phillip Rivers. I know in the beginning I didn't really like it. Especially because at the time they were also talking about, well, is Brady going to come play for the Colts?
Yeah.
Under his own power, Kelvin Shepard will come in.
He took his talents down to Tampa Bay.
And as play resumes, it'll be 2nd down and 7 from the 5-yard line.
Here comes Robert Mathis again over here on the side of Chris Clark. Same spot on the field.
And now they'll get some protection help. And Moreno will chug his way for a gain of a couple, setting up a 3rd down and 5. Yeah, you see Mathis out there, and you know you got to bring somebody in to help block him.
Well, they want to have Robert Mathis on the open field side.
I think he just recently had, you know, he had a restaurant, Robert Mathis? Yeah, but I think they had recently closed it because of everything going on.
Oh, yeah.
Just losing too much money or whatever. But yeah, I didn't know until I just happened to pull it up online.
3rd and 5.
Yeah, he seems like a guy that would still, like, you know, hang out in Indy and still participate in the community.
And it's caught on the run by Moreno for a 1st down. Flag is down. Eric Walden with the coverage on the play. And Pagano saying, call it on Denver. And I think he's going to get his wish. Broncos are already backing up. John Fox has a different reaction.
Number 27, offense. Out the distance to the goal.
Can't do that.
Yeah, that's not allowed.
That's not allowed.
Catch. It didn't appear. I thought it was earlier than that. Don't really see it there. I think it happened just before that, actually, that he did a little stiff arm right back into Eric Walden.
Yeah.
Now Ronnie Hillman comes in.
There's Ronnie Hillman.
So 3rd down.
There you go. There's your guy.
Still a manageable number. 3rd and 8. So 3 receivers off to the right. Fake. And then it's caught. And that'll be Demaryius Thomas who picks up the 1st down. Ball comes down, but he was down. Official coming in to rule down by contact just outside the 20-yard line. And we're ticking down to the 2-minute warning.
Boy, that is points right there. When you come up with a play like that to get you off the goal line and hopefully be able to then control the clock in the final 2 minutes. Very significant play.
And Peyton will let it go to the 2-minute warning. Denver has 2 timeouts on the other side of this break. 19-14 Indianapolis.
I remember his infamous
2 minutes to halftime.
how Peyton liked to try and hike the ball before they subbed out or, you know.
Starting to set it down from the 20. And Manning throwing it down the left side, and the pass is incomplete. Thomas covered there by Vontae Davis and getting some help as well. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
One of the really difficult parts.
Oh yeah, Vontae Davis walking back reminds me. This is this is the game where he was like, "Man, it was really good to get a win against Tom Brady," in like his post-game interview, or shut down Tom Brady or something like that.
Honestly, I can't name. Besides Bethea, Vontae Davis. Can you name anybody else on defense?
Mathis.
Oh, okay, anybody else?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if who was that? Was it Walden that just recovered the ball in the end zone for the safety?
Well,
I think.
But like the point is, everybody looked at Denver and thought defense. You know, Von Miller, Chris Harris, Champ Bailey, but yet, you know, the Colts did a pretty good job.
Bunch three receivers to the left.
And I mean, you could say a lot too about like Chuck Pagano. Like he got the defense back kind of in order a little bit. Ooh.
I like Chuck Pagano.
Yeah, me too. I'm with it.
16-second 3 and out.
And even Tony Dunn, you know, they both.
One matchup that they continue to go.
I like the vibe.
It doesn't matter who's on Demaryius Thomas. If he gets one-on-one, they're going to throw it up to him. But
same vibe I get with Ballard.
Finding ways to win that battle, and this makeshift secondary that's come from 3 different teams around the league has been getting it done.
What I like about Reich is he looks like he's like a high school he looks like he's your dad if he was a coach, like a high school football coach. Like he looks like he would come into the locker room and be like, "I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed."
So you want coaches daughters like, you know, T-ball.
Yeah.
At the moment on top of the AFC West.
Chiefs were 7-0.
Who's RG3?
Yeah. Gosh.
Is he on the roster?
Yeah, he's on the. Last I knew, he was on the Ravens.
Well, Champ Bailey questionable with a foot injury. It's that same left foot he injured in that preseason game against the Seahawks that you talked about. Long conversations with the trainer and team doctor, and he's sidelined for the moment, Al.
All right, thank you, Michelle. That means Kayvon Webster, a rookie out of South Florida, will see some extended time tonight, and the pass is caught at the 45 by Reggie Wayne for a gain of 5.
Very interesting clock management on the part of the Broncos to not work any of that clock off, and now have turned around and given Andrew Luck a chance to put points on the board.
And there may be some clock management on the part of the Colts to not leave Manning any time on the other side as they work at that field to pick up the first down. Donald Brown to the 39-yard line.
I think this team, the Broncos, is just so used to being able to do anything they want and go up and down the field, that in this one, when they're getting stuffed a bit with their passing game, I'm not quite sure how to react to that.
And now a timeout is taken here with 66 seconds remaining.
I think his tight end got drafted the same year with him.
The Colts
secondary,
they dressed 10 of them tonight. And they've done the job.
Well, you look at them. Vontae Davis came over from Miami. Greg Toller came over from the Cardinals. Landry came over from the Jets, and they've made it all work. And I think getting Landry back has certainly helped here. He has the speed on the back end to come and make plays sideline to sideline and help cover for some of those one-on-one coverages.
A lot of credit goes to Greg Minuski, the defensive coordinator. Obviously had his hands full all week long preparing for Manning's return. Here's Luck. A on the run. Wide open.
Nice. Oh!
To the 17. So Fleener, a teammate of Luck's at Stanford, tackled there by Webster. And it's a first down after a gain of 21.
Really nice read that time by Kobe Fleener. He felt the underneath coverage, but the minute he turned his back,
have a good solid
circled back the other way for the open throw.
I mean, you go back through them. Dallas Clark, Marcus Pollard.
To the outside this time it is Fleener again. Gain of only a couple. 32.
Even now, I mean, Jack Doyle.
Remaining in the half, and Indy takes its second timeout.
Kobe Fleener on that previous play is going to be working against Trevathan, who's looking at the quarterback, tries to look back at Fleener, and then just sort of circles back. You get the feeling those two guys have done that a few times at Stanford together. It's a big, powerful guy in the pocket. You don't see anything that Andrew Luck does being altered by a few guys grabbing him or a little stroke of the arm, whatever it is. He is 240 pounds of man.
Than Manning. Definitely.
Even though
I don't know. I just wonder if that played to his detriment. Took too much of a beating, and he just said, "Look, I mean, and rightfully so. He cared more about his health."
He's about a 4'7" guy, so he can move.
He's a big, thick guy.
Big dude.
Yeah, big dude.
It's Wayne. He's a little bit short of the first down. Third down. Want to save that timeout if they can. But it's one of those situations you don't want to spike it, make it fourth down. So he throws it to the right side, picks up the first down.
Why spike it, Michael?
Kobe Fleener.
Why spike it when you can just score?
Now that's sort of reminiscent of Manning.
6 plays, 100 yards.
Yeah.
Wait.
Boy, was that interesting.
They really started at their own one?
I don't know. That was too long ago.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. But still, though.
No, Manning used to do that, like those fourth quarter comebacks, or you got a minute left and get him down there, and then, he does it, and this is sort of the game that made everybody realize why at the time they had drafted, Luck to be his successor.
Second-year player. This guy mentally is pretty amazing.
I mean, he came to play in this game. Not that you really, looking back on it, you're kind of like, well, why wouldn't he have? This is a situation where, how do you want to go follow Manning with how much as he meant to the team and all that stuff? But he comes out, he rises to the occasion, and just like that, it was 14-10, and you scored 16 points, and you're up by 12 going into the locker room. So basically, obviously nothing else happens, basically for the rest of this half. Obviously they go into the halftime and it's 26-14. But then, Denver makes it a little bit interesting in the fourth quarter. But yeah, the Colts basically set the tone in that second quarter and took it on home from there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And again, after the game, you have that nice moment where Manning and Luck sort of, pat each other on the back, whisper something to each other's ear.
Yeah.
Not sweet nothings, but it was like a passing, of the torch.
Yeah, kind of like actual, you could see it like tangible passing of the torch, like, hey, and it was a fun night. You think about, returns and stuff. Obviously, like Brett Favre's first game back at Green Bay wasn't the greatest because he was on the Vikings. This was kind of an actual like nice moment where past met present, and it was a really cool thing. And then of course the Broncos go on to play in the Super Bowl. They lose to the Seahawks. They then win a few years later against the Panthers. Andrew Luck goes on to have a solid career that was cut short because Ryan Grigson couldn't put an offensive line around him. He gets pummeled into oblivion until he gets basically has the love for football. Yeah, he has the love for football literally beat out of him, courtesy of Ryan Grigson. So that's fun to think about. But hey, you know what? We wanted to relive this moment because it was a really fun kind of awesome moment between a couple. The Colts have been blessed to have the quarterbacks that they've had at quarterbacks throughout the year, Manning, Luck, whatever. But it was just kind of it's a cool moment to look back on.
Oh yeah, and then of course, future wise, now we got that great O line.
Right
now you got a solid running back. What's gonna come?
Right. Well, that will do it for this week's edition of Memory Lane. Next week we will be doing a college football game, Notre Dame and Michigan, so that will be a lot of fun, so you won't want to miss that. And if you guys have any suggestions, definitely hit us up on Twitter at CrashCourseFM. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let us know in the comments, hey, this is the game I want to see, and we can do that for you. So that's all for this week's episode. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.